Got a few new customers, a few clients come in and they don't really know what I mean when I say the safety triangle. So we're going to recap that, and I'm going to change the name of it to update it to be called the safety square, because it used to be what I call the safety triangle. That's tyres, brakes and shock absorbers, but there's also one other component. It doesn't really matter how new or old the vehicle is, whether it's got a lift or not, but I'm going to change it. So the safety triangle was tyres, brakes and shock absorbers. Now it is tyres, brakes, shock absorbers and suspension bushes. So it's the safety square. Copy, copy, see, reflection, copy, copy. All right, let me explain it to you. All right, copy, copy. You need to copy, copy. So it's pretty straightforward. You can see your tyres. You can see when they're worn out. If you have a look, tyres, rubber, tread depth. See, there's all these gaps here. We'll call them gaps in between the rubber and the depth. Once there's no gap there and this rubber here, it's worn down. Pretty obvious. You know, your tyres are getting worn. A lot of people still probably won't get that. So long story short, you need some tread depth so the rubber can throw the water out still, so you can keep contact with the road. Keeping contact with the road is pretty obvious that it would be important, right? That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because if you're not in contact with the road, the vehicle's not going to go where you steer it, and it might not anyway if you're going too fast. That's called, you know, momentum. And of course, it might not stop when you want it to. So rubber, tyres, they need to be in good condition, the right size and type for the vehicle, pretty obvious. And the standard 265, 65, 17 is best overall for most people on any of the Prados that we talk about. You know, when we talk Prados, we're talking, look, 90 odds, they're all right, but they're getting a bit older. And the majority of the Prados we're talking about are 120s and 150 Prados. The newer ones, we're not talking about it unless it's bad news, so let's just not go there. So 120s and 150s, Prados. We're just going to call them Prados from here on in. Rubber, okay, it's good now. Brakes is another one. Now, down in here, you know, everybody knows, except for the people that don't, you've got your disc brake rotors, you've got your calipers, and inside the calipers there's brake pads, and the calipers squeeze the pads onto the disc rotors. That's what stops you, right? So, of course, you think, wouldn't that wear out? Yeah, that's right. That's why the pads material is softer than the cast iron of the disc rotor, and they do wear down slowly, or very slowly, really. When you think about it, how many tens of thousands of kilometres they last, generally, in most cases, depends how you drive, and park it in muddy bog holes. It's like sandpaper, it's going to cut it down a little bit. But it's amazing how long they last, right? But when you get your vehicle checked and serviced, servicing isn't just an oil change, you know, don't think of it that way. Servicing is lubrication, and I'm going to do another video. It's going to be called, I think it's going to be called the Engine and Vehicle Longevity Triangle. I don't know if it's a triangle or a square, but this is now a bloody square. So I've got to come up with a name for the video. I was wrong about the safety triangle. It's a safety square. Watch this video, something like that. There you go. See, boom. I don't spend time on this stuff. It just bang. Right? There's no script for this, so that's why it's a bit here and there, but it's all good information. So just stay tuned, right? Don't go anywhere or you miss out. All the wise people, they just listen. So we've got the brakes and the tyres, or the tyres and the brakes. 1, 2. We said triangle. The third component was, so obviously the tyres are turning, it's gripping the road, the brakes clamp on, that slows you down, beautiful. That's 2 things you need to be happening for safety, right? Because you need to stop this bloody big thing sometimes anyway, don't you? So the other thing that gets overlooked, because you can see the tyre wear, when you get your car serviced, you can see the brake pad wear, if they bother to have a look, and they have a good look. They're often going to sell you pads when you don't need them, or they're going to forget to check them and not tell you when you do need them. You're going to get that a little bit every now and then, which is why I'm not telling you should do all your own servicing, but you should watch all the videos and maybe do some of your maintenance to make sure it's done right. And if you think you're better than the people you're paying that you're taking it to, then that's your decision. Maybe you should take care of that, but I'll say careful who you take your vehicle to. But most people also understand that the vehicle's on springs, right? Springs. Anyone ever been to the adventure playground, right? Let me turn the light on. It always works better with the light. See that thing there? It's a spring. Because if we didn't have the vehicle sprung, this is the vehicle up here, that's your wheels and tyres. We're not going to go into sprung and unsprung weight and all that stuff we did in trade school many years ago. Simple stuff. Let's not complicate it. But if we didn't have springs there for this vehicle to get a soft ride. If you didn't have suspension, mate, you would feel every bump. It'd be real rough, you know. Your teeth would be falling out by the time you got 20 k's down the road. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Your teeth would be falling out by the time. See, I didn't plan it. Sometimes I'm funny something. Hey, was it just funny to me? Let me know in the comments. I thought it was funny anyway. If you imagine you didn't have any springs, right? So the point is, you're on springs, you've been to the adventure playground, and they use the old springs out of cars to make adventure playground equipment like those, what are those bouncy seesaw things? And they got the springs at each end, boing, 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 boing. And just, did you ever notice it just keeps going, going, going? And careful dads, you know, if you're standing above that swing when one of the kids jumps off, it can fling straight up and you won't be a father again after that one. Anyway, what you need to control the spring. Oh, that was a bit funny too, wasn't it? Who laughed at that one? Let me know in the comments as well. So in your comment, let me know first part was funny, second part wasn't, or they were both funny, or neither of them were funny. Stop talking, get on with it, whatever, right? Because I don't really care. And I'm just grateful that there's anyone still listening this far into the video, because that means I'm helping you. Not for me, for you. I don't do YouTube to make money. I've got much better ways to make money. I make plenty more money elsewhere. YouTube, let's say, is probably, it's just, I'm not even going to say, it's a very small percentage of my income. Bada bing, bada boom, right? So I make income because I help people, right? That's how it works. Springs are bouncing around all over the joint in the car. Have you ever seen a car, you're driving down the road and you've seen, and it goes over a bump and it kind of goes and keeps going like that? Usually at the back, I've noticed. It happens at the front or the back. That's a vehicle that the shock absorbers are gone. They're totally flogged. They're finished. They're not doing anything at all whatsoever. And that's what it would be like if you didn't have shock absorbers. It'd be bouncing like that, right? So now the problem with shock absorbers is you can see them if they're leaking. You know, you can have a look at it and go, oh yeah, right, got this light on still, have we? Yeah, good. Oh yeah, no, that looks all dry, that's good. Or, oh no, is that all oil down the bottom? Is that all wet and leaking? That could be wet. I can't even see, but it does look wet down the bottom. It could be just water because I washed the car. You know, I don't know what it is, right? But we're not checking the vehicle. That's in other videos. Check all the playlists on my YouTube channel. Check them out. Very informative and organised for you. Shock absorbers, you can see if it's leaking. You can check the rubbers and go, oh yeah, they're a bit flogged, that sort of thing. But you can't see the internal wear that happens slowly over time. When the suspension's brand new, and it doesn't matter if you've got your Dobinsons from me or the stock standard stuff in the car, or you went to ARB and you got nitro charge, whatever, the more money you spend, the more money you're going to be spending again, because suspension isn't do it once, set and forget. It's on ongoing replacement like tyres and brakes, which is why this is the safety triangle and it's about to become the safety square, all right? So recapping the safety triangle. So the shock absorbers are responsible for stopping that spring continuous bounce up and down so that keeps your wheels and tyres in contact with the road surface, corrugated roads, bumpy roads, whatever. If your wheel's off, if it's bouncing up and down all over the joint because you're hitting and it's off the ground, you're going sideways, your tyre's not on the ground for braking, your stopping distance, your handling is compromised, anything from a little bit to a lot, depending how bad it is. So look, people are going to ask me, so what do I recommend? Look, traditionally, suspension specialists recommended replacing your shock absorbers every 80,000 k's. That was years ago. Stuff wasn't as good. I'll say if you got the stock standard suspension on these Prados, you know, Prados, remember, 121, about 150,000 k's, it's still all right, okay? It's still not bad. We're not finding it fail like what used to happen in the old cars where at 80,000 k's, you're bouncing and just go boing, boing, boing. You know, it doesn't even happen at 120, 150, but it is slightly compromised. So it's not an urgent thing that you've got to go, oh, I can't afford it at the moment, but I need to do it. You can bounce test the car. It's kind of a general rule, you know, shouldn't bounce more than 1.5 times. So sort of bounce it down and it should stop pretty, it should go, you know, kind of like that, not like that. That's a bit flogged, you know. If it goes, oh man, you're long gone, man. You're flogged out totally, right? Okay, so that's the safety triangle. You get it? You understand it? Put it in the comments. Yep, I get it, mate. Hit the like button, right? Tyres, brakes, shock absorbers. Now, I've just decided I was going to recap everyone on this because I've got customers asking about it and I don't like explaining myself again and again and again. So I do videos. So you need to not ask me, you need to ask the videos. If you don't want to go searching for videos, you need to subscribe, turn the bell on so that you get the info. So, because when you text me and ask me a question, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to say, you should have watched the video. There's a video, search the videos. Anything that has been covered, it's in our Facebook groups. Use the groups. I'm a one person. I can't be servicing millions of people with all their questions because they don't want to watch videos. Hope you understand that. So obviously the safety square is more important than the safety triangle because all these components we talked about, they're all bolted to the vehicle. Remember the sprung and the unsprung thing, whatever. So It's all connected via, again, you've got to have rubbers, otherwise you're going to feel the vibration through the vehicle, just like you got the spring, but there's arms and stuff like that on bushes and ball joints and all this sort of thing. And all those components, those bushes, those arm bushes, those ball joints and everything like that, it's important they're checked and in good condition as well, because they're also responsible for controlling, keeping the wheel on the ground. So if you've got flogged bushes, the arm, which means the wheel and the tyres, can be jumping around all over the joint as well. Maybe not as bad as a completely flogged shock absorber, but it's really bad. It can affect you when you're braking, accelerating, and just randomly make whatever wheel alignment adjustments it likes. It's going to wear out your tyres, make your tyres uneven wear, reduce the life of those, reduce the handling and how well they can stick to the road, because they're going to be all feathered off. I better call this the best bloody safety square video you've ever seen. Listen till the end or you lose. You get the picture, like they're all overjoined. It wrecks your tyres. That's what wears tyres is people can't drive. People can't work on cars properly, like wheel alignments and stuff. And old, flogged, worn components that have been missed or haven't been checked properly by technicians, mechanics, grease monkeys, whatever you want to call them, that can't do their jobs right. They shouldn't even be allowed to fit tyres to wheels, I don't think. But anyway, there's a shortage of them, just like a shortage of anyone else that can do things right, which is why I've got to keep doing the videos so you can keep learning. Use. Right, so subscribe to the bell and we'll catch you in the next video. You got it? Safety square, tyres, brakes, shockers, and all your rubbers and ball joints. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Catch you in the next video. See ya.